Hi everybody, my name is Ina Kouini and I am a salary replacement expert. So what I focus on is helping professionals move from their job to whatever it is that they want to do, but without quitting their job yet. Like this is like my if I could cry this out from the rooftops, don't quit your job yet. Your job is actually your moneymaker, is what's funding this new thing that you want to start. So I'm going to start by saying that I'm assuming the people who were interested in the 2020 Vision Lectures, which was a whole series where I interviewed 14 ex-employees on how they got out of their job and what they do now and how they make their own schedule and they make their own money, right? So what I wanted to do with that is to kind of give you an example of other people having done it, right? Because I know that when I was working full-time, when I was in corporate, I didn't really have any examples. I didn't have anybody out there that could show me that I could be an entrepreneur. To me, and in fact, I went and I got my MBA for entrepreneurship. And I was still insecure about starting a business on my own because for some reason in my mind, starting a business meant starting a traditional company, right? Getting office space, having employees, getting investors. And the reality is that you can have a business just doing something that you love to do and helping people that you love helping. The company, the staff, the everything else just comes later. But it's not where you start. So it can get really overwhelming just to think about starting a company, right? Who are you? What makes you think that you can do it? When 80% of businesses fail within the first year, who are you to do that? So when I was working, I would see other people like, oh, I'm going to start my business. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to come clean. Whenever anybody told me that they were starting their own business, I thought they are a little bit nutty. Like they're out of touch with reality, because clearly the responsible way to make money is to work for a company where you can get benefits, where you can get healthcare, all of that. So I actually knew someone who was part of a network marketing company, and she's like, oh, this is my company. And I kept thinking, no, but it isn't. It's somebody else's. You're a distributor, right? Not to judge MLMs at all, but at least this person had the right thing in mind, right? At least this person was thinking beyond her corporate job. And I didn't acknowledge that at first. I'm like, you're kind of nutty and you're probably in a pyramid scheme somewhere. And I don't know how this is going to turn out for you, but this is definitely not for me, right? I would have people like trying to recruit me for these things. And I'm like, yeah, no. So it took me a long time to realize what really business ownership could really be like, even after I myself started my own business. Like, does this sound all messed up, right? That I am out there, I'm working, I feel like I want to start my own business. I've thought that since day one, but I'm stopping myself from doing it because it seems too overwhelming, or like I'd be crazy to leave my job. And at the same time, there's nobody else out there that is doing this around me, right? I have no examples. So you have any idea how long it takes for you to go from, oh, I have a business idea, to actually executing it? It's too long. It's too long, because what's in between having the idea and starting is not lacking the strategy. It's not lacking a certification. It's not lacking the education. It's lacking the mindset to be able to put that forward. That's why in the 2020 Vision Lectures, the first 7 lectures were focused on your mindset. How can I get you to believe that this is possible for you, right? So it took just seeing an example. And you guys have heard me say this story before of the year that I ran into Amy Porterfield, right? When I started hearing about someone who threw out the window all the conventions about starting a business, threw it out the window and said, I think I'm just going to start getting clients. It sounds so weird to say this, but once I finally saw that somebody was doing it, I'm like, well, I'm very smart. I'm very resourceful. I'm technically savvy, so I can do things really fast online. I can do that too. That was my point. with the 2020 Vision Lectures. So if you actually didn't get a chance to see them, you still can, because the cart is open through Sunday. And I may have 1 or 2 surprises along the way for you, but the reality is that the people who buy the set early, they get all the benefits, all the little bonuses that I drip in throughout until the cart closes. You get all of those bonuses, so there's no way to miss out on anything. So, but the earlier you do it, the more bonuses you get. So I may drop another couple of surprises in there. So to buy the series, because you feel like, okay, I need that example, that what Amy Porterfield was to Ina, I need to find that person for me that is going to show me that this is possible. Hopefully one of those 14 actually gave you that kind of inspiration. Okay, so what I did was I packaged it and I said, okay, you can keep all of the talks, every single one of them. Plus you get to download the audio file. So you can keep it on your phone and you can listen to it on the go. Plus you get to keep the full transcript of it, so that if you found something that somebody said and you don't remember where it was, you can also always go to the pages and search for it, which is awesome if you ask me. And the price is not crazy, guys. So the only way to buy it, though, is to sign up for the 2020 Vision Lectures at 2020visionlectures.com and click on the purchase link that you get by email. That's the only way to buy them. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Why we're here is because if you watched even one of those sessions and you got something out of it, the worst thing that can happen is that you end up not taking action on that thing that you want to do. That's the worst thing that can happen. Or that you start to take action now, kind of like dipping your toes in the water, and then it's a year from now and we're still talking about the same thing, right? It's my vision for everybody who's here that in 2020, that's the year that you made your business happen. But you can't do it unless you believe that you can. That's what these lectures were meant to do. Just like Amy was for me, one person is going to say something just the right way that you're going to believe it and you're going to want to run with it. That was my hope with them. So if you watched any of them or all of them, what is your next step? Okay, so Ina, I got you. I got that I need to be inspired. I got that I need to believe that I can do it. I got that I need to see in the physical world that somebody else is doing it. I got that. Okay. What's the next step? Well, not so fast. Because beliefs, they call them beliefs for a reason. It's kind of tough to get out of them, but you gotta first want to get out of them. So in the Facebook group, I actually posted a question for everybody. And I wanted to see kind of where you landed on this. I asked people if they have ever felt one of these 4 ways, right? And let me find it so I can give them to you. So I asked you guys if you relate to any of these feelings that I'm about to say, if you've been running these phrases in your mind. Number 1 was, my business idea is nice, but I don't want to do it forever. That's like a recipe for never starting, right? If you're going to start something that you feel like you're going to quit soon after, why would you ever start? So it kind of happened for me when I started my side business making websites. I would say this to myself. My business is nice, but I don't want to do it forever. So it would prevent me from growing, from expanding, from investing in it. Because I don't want to do it forever. It's just a hobby. It's just a little thing, right? What I didn't realize was that the more I invest, time and money into a particular thing, the more it's going to evolve with me, right? It's not going to stay stagnant. It's not like it's going to be that thing and I'm going to do it forever. I have full control over what I do. But investing into things that you're doing is important. And if you don't feel like you're going to stick it out, why would you even invest? So that's one limiting belief that is out there, right? If you don't want to do it forever, then why even start? Everybody starts with something they ended up not doing forever. You got to take a step. The number 2 phrase that I wanted to check if anybody is asking themselves or saying to themselves over and over. I'm scared that I will start, want to quit, and everyone will watch me fail, plus think that I'm a flake. Okay, that was me. Like that. You have any idea how long it took me to start posting on LinkedIn? And I still have limiting beliefs around it. I still believe that, oh my God, my family and friends, they're going to see what I'm doing and they're going to think of me the exact same way that I thought about this person that I was telling you in the beginning, who was like, oh, I have a business, right? I'm like, out of touch with reality, right? I don't want people to think that I'm crazy, right? After they've seen me work side by side with them on large software projects, leading people, managing teams, presenting to CEOs and CIOs and CTOs and going on that fast track. All of a sudden, I'm doing this thing that nobody understands and I'm putting it on LinkedIn all over the place. What if I fail? I am failing publicly, right? So you can't tell me that's not a fear that some of you have, because I know that I had it myself. So here in the responses that we got, we had one person who said, yeah, that's how I feel. Exactly. And what did I respond? I said, that was me big time. Yeah, I started so many blogs I can't even count. So Terasa can relate to that one, right? So how do I tell you about this one? Because it took me so long to even post on LinkedIn. So I'm going to tell you something that I was telling one of my clients this morning, because she is actually the CEO of 2 companies. Okay, and she also works full time, but she believes that her network still thinks of her as, you know, when she started out, when she was just a project manager in smaller projects, and coming on LinkedIn and talking to people with certain authority about what she does now, it felt like people were going to think she was crazy or that she was biting too much of an apple. I'm not really familiar with that expression. I think I just made it up. But she was afraid that she was putting herself out there and people were not going to understand. So I'm going to tell you what I told her, which I believe helped her. I'm hoping that it helped her. I told her, okay, think of it this way. You, before you started your business, that's like your version 1.0. You, after you start your business, is a version of you 2.0. Okay? So once I started my business, I became a different public persona. I'm no longer the software project manager that was running down the hallways, right, from one place to the other because she couldn't be bothered to walk, right? I'm not that person who is leading meetings and setting up meetings and phone calls, and like, I'm not that work person anymore. I am a new work persona. When I post online, even my vulnerable posts, even pictures of my kids, everything, I do it because this is a new persona that I want my future client, my potential clients, to relate to get to know me, right? I probably would not even be like posting online if I didn't have a business. I have a business persona, okay? Not to say that it's very different from me, but it's different in terms of my goals and my values and what is it that I want to accomplish in life and what my vision is for my life is different than Ina 1.0. So once I realized that, I started posting as if the people who knew Ina 1.0 weren't even there. I'm like, what I'm going for is to grow my audience to the thousands. So these few hundreds of thousands that I have right now, they know Ina 1.0 and they're welcome to come and get to know Ina 2.0, right? They may judge, but they're not gonna stop me from acting like Ina 2.0 and really speaking to people who are going to know me in that new stage in my life. Does that make sense? So I used to start blogs really fast, like, because I make websites, right? So every time that I came up with a business idea, I would create a website. And I'm sure there's something similar for you guys, like, oh, every time I come up with an idea, I draw a logo, right? Like, I'm sure there's something that you do, and if you can think of it, type it up. Like, what's the first thing you do when you think of an idea? Do you spend months and months Googling about it or following people or downloading freebies? Like, what is it that you do? For me, it was creating a website. I created so many websites, right? Which is why, and this is not meant to be an advertisement, although I will give you my affiliate link, which is why I have an iPage account for my web hosting. iPage, in iPage.com, they allow me to create as many WordPress sites as I want in a single account without paying more. And by the way, if you want to create an iPage account, you can go to inacoveney.com/iPage. Yes, I have an affiliate link because I talk about them all the time because it's the only host that is reliable, that has a great customer service, that allows me to do that. So I would spin up these websites, but I wouldn't treat it seriously like a business. I would just create it and hope that things would just magically take off, right? And don't tell me you don't think about this too. Like, I was talking to someone and I was telling her, if you put your business out online, right, you may get, you may start to get a following. People will start to be curious about what it is that you're doing. You just have to be consistent with it. You guys know what her response to me was? She says, oh no, I am so busy. I don't think I could fill my calendar with 10 more clients right now. And I look at her, I'm like, is that what you think happens when you put your stuff online? That all of a sudden you're opening up the floodgates and everybody rushes in? You guys, when you start putting yourself online, it's crickets. And I want to prepare you for that. Okay? It's crickets. You start with a very small audience. And if you think of it having a 1% conversion rate for anything you do, right? You will need at least 100 people for one person to do something you're asking them to do online. All right? So thinking that your business is going to blow up overnight, it's keeping you down. It's keeping you from even starting it. Okay? So you just got to start and see what happens. Nothing happens outside of your control. So, sorry, I keep going back and going on to tangents because I feel like all of this is related. But Teresa, for example, she says when she comes up with a new idea, she obsesses over all the details, the pros. Oops, I lost Teresa's comment. She obsesses over all the details, the pros, the cons, how to start, what sucks about it, LOL, right? You obsess over it rather than actually taking action. Teresa says, I'm such a planner, I overdo it. Teresa, if I could spend all of my time planning, my background is project management. I would spend my entire day planning because I love doing it. But planning doesn't get me anywhere without the action, right? I could spend a whole year just planning my business and I would have the time of my life and 0 clients, right? So yeah, so I'm with you. I was just creating websites, but not really getting clients, not really knowing how to sell this. I created a blog where I was going to post recipes for people who don't like to cook, like me. And I thought that people were going to love it and flock to it and I was going to be a millionaire. But guess what? People didn't flock to it, so I dropped it. That's what happens. That's what I'm afraid of, that I'm going to start something and then get discouraged and quit. So what the cure for this is to start, but take it seriously. Actually see it as a business. Have a big vision for yourself at the end and know that you're not going to quit until you reach that vision. If you have a vision driving you, then this doesn't become just another little project that you may fail at, right? That you may drop. Because you have a big vision and you're not going to quit on that vision. I have a vision that I'm going to be making income from my business such that my husband doesn't have to work anymore. And there's nothing you can tell me that is going to stop me from going after that vision. So whether it's this idea, right? Coaching people on starting businesses, it doesn't mean that I'm going to do this forever. It may evolve. It may evolve with me, right? I'm no longer leaving corporate. So maybe I'll start, coaching other people who have their businesses, well underway. Maybe it's going to turn into something else. Maybe something will happen in my life and I will get another calling and I will switch to doing that. So nothing is going to stop me from getting to my vision. The how and the which idea is going to work, I won't figure it out just sitting on my couch and planning. I figure it out by taking action and watching it evolve. So the other, number 3, we're still number 3 out of 4. Number 3, this is something that we keep telling ourselves that keeps us down. I can't think of anyone who would pay me to do this and make a good living. This happens when you're the expert at something that you find so easy, but other people don't. So, for example, and this happened to me recently. What I'm about to tell you was recent. Somebody wanted to buy a service from me, and I talked them out of it because I told them, you can just Google that. That is how this limiting belief manifests itself. That's something that is so easy for me and so obvious. How could anybody want to pay me for that? So I downplayed. I'm like, do you really want to pay me this much an hour to do something that you can do yourself? I said that to someone, right? So this limiting belief still pops up in my head. None of these things really get a cure at the end, right? It's about knowing how to deal with them so that it doesn't stop us from continuing and from we just keep going towards our vision. And the last one was, I wish I had the grit and confidence that that other person has. It's so easy for them and so hard for me. We actually had one member of our community who said that number 4 was the biggest one. She said that number 4 is her hang up, and it seems like others have so much more grit than she does. The good news is that if this is about grit and comparing yourself to others, you have full control over this one, right? You may not have full control over what your next race is going to be or your next promotion is going to be, but you have full control over comparing yourself to others in a productive way. I'm going to tell you how to do that in 1 second. And also the grit part. People have grit for something they really want. If you don't have grit for this business idea that you're thinking of, then maybe it's the wrong idea for you. If I can suggest that, does that resonate with you? That maybe you're picking the idea because you think it's going to make you the most money, but it's not the thing you're most passionate about? That could be it. Or maybe you don't have a strongly defined vision, so it's not worth it for you to spend all that time and money on something that you don't really want. So I would work on those things first before you think, oh, I should just white knuckle through it and just get things done. That doesn't work, right? Work on your vision first. Vision, and then everything just trails behind, okay? It goes like this. First comes the vision, then comes the action, and then comes the success. Then comes the feeling of success, okay? You don't feel successful before you take action, okay? And your confidence trails behind that success, okay? You can't get confident by achieving success, all right? It trails behind that success. So it's like that. The vision is like, if you imagine a train, the vision is pulling you to take action, and the action is pulling you to have more success, and the success is pulling you having more confidence, okay? It happens, like that. They trail behind. Confidence is not the first card on the train. It's just not. You don't wait until you're confident to take action. We just take action because that vision is pulling us to do it. And confidence comes later. So I wanted to share that with you because if I'm going to talk to you about next steps, it's really important that you feel ready. Teresa says, I've heard a phrase, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. Thank you, Teresa, for sharing that with us. Couldn't have said it better myself. That's what it is. It's about taking action. So what if you're out there and you're like, yeah, I want to take action, but I'm going to take my time. I'm not ready to start yet. There's so much research I need to do. What I would suggest, because I wouldn't tell anybody to just drop everything they're doing and just do something, right? What I would suggest is to have milestones for yourself, week by week or month by month, so that you're always moving towards your goal. And one day you're going to be ready to really invest in yourself. Because I'm going to tell you, the first real day of my business was February 8th, 2018. By that time, I had been in corporate for 15 years. I had been in business with my side business for 6 years, right? But it was on that day, February 8th, that I had my first meeting with my first coach. What does a coach do? I hate the word coach because it sounds like it's just so overused. But essentially what a coach does is a coach is like the project manager of your life. Right? When I was working full-time and I was the project manager of software projects, at first, developers, new developers I had never worked with a project manager before, they didn't really understand why they needed a project manager. They're very smart, they're very resourceful, they can organize their own time, but they didn't understand what they needed me for. So when I would go in there and I would ask them what their pain points were, they would tell me, well, clients are always asking for new development ideas, so I have to drop everything I'm doing. I'm never focused. I'm like, well, that's what a project manager does. I can protect your time, right? And I can tell you exactly what to work on in what order, and the way you can make progress faster. So that's what a coach essentially does. I apply my project management skills to my coaching all the time. I don't just do talk therapy. I get together with my clients and I give them an assignment at the end. And I tell them, this is what you're going to get done over the next week. And I love my clients who get things done, because the next time we meet, we can move on to learning something else, to do something else, to try something new. And it's exciting. It's exciting for them. It's exciting for me to see that things are moving. So it's great. So that's what a coach does. So once you're ready and you say to yourself, I'm done dilly-dallying, I'm done researching, I just want to get this thing done. I want to have a business website that is going to attract my ideal client, and that is going to attract a lot of traffic, that is going to convert, and that, where I can post my services and I can really start helping people with this. I want to stop planning. I want to start helping people. That's what a coach does. So what I wanted to tell you for your immediate next steps, okay? Number one was to iron out your idea, okay? And this is what I'm going to tell you, because I've talked to a couple people who've had this same thought, this same feeling about their idea. They tell me, listen, I want to start my A business and I want to also dive into the B business. So I asked them, well, what if I told you that you are going to be wildly successful at either one? You're going to make $1 million at doing A or doing B. Okay, there's no doubt about it. If you focus on just one of them, you can't do both. You can only do one, and they're both going to make you a millionaire. Which one would you pick? That kind of exercise is what you should be going through to really distill down what is the idea that you want. And if at any point you just say to yourself, but the thing is that even though idea A is the one that I want the most, I don't feel like I could make enough money with it. That's another limiting belief that we have to tackle and you have to work on. Because it's not true. I am sure you can think of anyone, I'm sure you can think of an authority out there who makes a really good living doing something that you want to do. And if you don't have any examples, go and find them. Go and buy the 2020 Vision Lectures. See if any of the people who are there have the life that you want, right? We had somebody who's an artist. She's a painter. She makes a very comfortable living. She left her multi-six-figure salary at Wall Street, and now she makes art. And this is her business, and she makes a very nice living with it, right? So there's always a way. The how is irrelevant, all right? And the money, you don't know how much money you can make. You need to really do that work there. So your step one is going to be really zero in on the idea that you want. And it can't be about the money. It's got to be something that you would do for an entire year, even if nobody was paying you for it. That's the best advice I can give you. It may sink in or it may not sink in, but that is how you define your idea. Okay? Number two, you got to work on your mindset. All of these things that I just spent a whole half hour with you guys talking about mindset stuff, because these are the things that stop us. It's not the strategy. It's not the not having a website. It's none of those things. It's what we continue to tell ourselves. So write them all down. What are all your limiting beliefs? What are the things that are keeping you from taking that first step? And then deal with them up front. Be self-aware. Know where those feelings are coming from and tackle them. And number three, I really wanted to tell you about this because I've been holding back from telling you more about this. So I will, hopefully next week, not this week, but I want you guys to know that this is happening. I am starting a program, and it's a group program starting in January. It's called Be Found. And what we do is basically the same program that I do with my one-on-one clients, but we're going to do them in a group setting so that you can take advantage of everybody else's questions and everybody else's path. Right? My best friends, the people that I have featured in the summit, I met through other masterminds that I was in. So this is not a mastermind. This is an actual program. It's almost like taking a class, like a tuition class in college, right? There's going to be assignments. It's going to be hard. We're going to really get it done by the end of 3 months. So by the end of March, you're going to have a website that you love, that is professional and that keeps your traffic. You're going to know exactly who you are speaking to. All right. And this is so important. Your message is the most important part of the whole thing. Because if you're a nutritionist, your audience is not just overweight people. That's way too broad. So we really narrow down who you are speaking to so that your message can really land with those people. All right. And we work on your online marketing strategy. So everything you guys see me do online, promotions, webinars, challenges, online summits, as you just saw me finish one, we cover all of that as if it was a class. I'm going to tell you everything I know about the online marketing piece. And I know a lot about it because I've been studying it for a very long time and actually putting it into action and telling you what works and what doesn't, right? What to do on social media, what not to do on social media, what to do with your mailing list. What's the difference between marketing to your mailing list and marketing on social media? All of that. You're going to walk away knowing what social media is for and how to use it to attract your clients. We're going to talk a little bit about the sales process. How do you actually go out and get clients? And we're going to get your online presence all set up. Okay? Your website is going to be done. So here's the deal though. This program is not just for anybody. This is only for people who are ready to start and who want to get their website, their online presence, their online marketing stuff ready in 2020. These are the first 3 months of that type of business. So if you would like to apply, I'm starting to take applications now. It is by invitation only because I want to make sure that you're going to succeed. So if I don't feel like you are ready to tackle it, it's probably something you might want to wait about 6 months whenever I offer it again and try again then. But I really need to assess that you are ready to take this on. So if you would like to apply, all you have to do is go to inacoveney.com/apply and get yourself on my calendar. I'm taking applications until December 31st. Okay? December 31st is the last day that you can apply for this. All right? The program is going to start the second week of January. All right? So I think that's January 14th. Am I saying that right? January 13th. That's the second week of January. So let's get this thing done. You're done waiting. You're done researching. You've done enough of that. Let's iron out who you're speaking to and get your online presence all ready so you can spend the rest of next year getting yourself clients and replacing your salary. That's the name of the game. All right, guys, I do have another appointment to go to, so I'm going to run. It's been a pleasure, guys. It's been so nice to get to meet you and get to know you in this summit. And let's continue to keep the conversations going. Tell me what your biggest takeaway from today's talk was, okay? All this time that I just spent talking to you about mindset, tell me your biggest takeaway. Put it in the comments so I can respond and keep exciting you about what's to come, okay? Let's get that vision going. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. Yay, thank you for watching. If you like that video, remember to subscribe right here to get notified of new episodes. And don't miss the podcast version, Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life. Go look it up and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.